All right. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Y'all already know what it is. It's another input from targeted individual CJBK. What can I say already? It's wet, cold, snowy. Well, now it's rainy. And they have been lighting my back up ever since basically ever since I woke up. I slept back at my place last night after I worked the evening shift. It seems like ever since my supervisor told me that I have to stop taking my phone off of airplane mode for too long. They was the gang stalkers, they took that as an opportunity. They was like, oh, he can't take it off airplane no more. Now we could basically just blast away at him as much as we want, without him trying to like adjust and everything. So since I don't put the phone on airplane mode now, they going hard. They going to town. They've really been attacking the lower right side of my back, but I believe that's a node area, because there's like a very, very specific spot, and it's a very specific size too, where I can feel like these inflamed. It feels like inflamed tissue, but it's like it doesn't feel too deep, but it's not that close to the surface though. And it's inflamed, and right now they're pulsing energy into my genitalia. They're hitting me in my left, but right now it's coming from my phone. They're pulsing an energy wave into my left testicle. Then there's energy, kind of like it's like wafting. This like wafting wave energy coming from, like, I'm holding the phone with my right hand. The energy is like, it's like wafting from my phone, but it's going right into the lower right side of my back. Remember, when I'm working, I have to have the Bluetooth on, locations on, camera features on. Got to have all these different phone settings on just to work. And every time you put on all these different phone settings, you're basically requiring your phone to output more energy. More energy means more radiation, right? So now, with all these features on, it like amplifies all the signals. It amplifies all of the energy that they could basically send through the resonance that they already have set with me. But I bear through it. I chose this job. Because I figured it was a fair job. It's something that I could maintain, I believe, through targeting, because it's not too many things where someone else has to be that much involved with how I work, and then it's also a lot of issues with the Amazon Flex app. A lot of issues with the GPS. I'm assuming they're spoofing my location a lot, so that it doesn't give it doesn't give the exact location where I'm at. They'll have me a whole 5 blocks away when I'm right in front of the building. I figure they're spoofing the phone or something. Then there's oh my goodness, my hands are freezing. What else? Then there's whatever they're doing in my prefrontal cortex on the right side of the brain. That's not it. It's not painful, but it's just a whole lot of pressure. It's like I don't know. It's like pressurized waves going into my brain tissue. And all they keep talking about is, oh, he got this brain tumor. He got a brain tumor. He got this big ass brain tumor. And it's interesting because I remember one day one of my supervisors came to me and told me something about somebody had passed away that used to work with us. He died of a brain tumor. Now, of course, in my mind, I'm thinking to myself, hell, the gang stalker's been telling me about a brain tumor that I have, so it just seems kind of weird that he would come and tell me something about a brain tumor. But I don't know, man. It's so cold. Man, I got an 11:01 route at 10:50. But luckily, this one seems doable because they're all due by 1 o'clock. So I'm just like, all right, let me just stop this and then I'll come back. Okay, I'm back. Yeah, today is a trying day because of how much energy is being how much energy and how many frequencies are being amplified to cause heating, discomfort, pain, all through my lower back, and but it's mostly focused on the right side near the lumbar. But it's not like bone. It's like they're stimulating the muscles of the back. It's like they're heating the muscles of the lower back. So that it's like, see, but you know what? Here's the thing. When I use the term heating, like when I say that they're heating up the muscles in the back, I'm analyzing a little bit differently. Where I'm thinking to myself, you know what? The heating is caused by how much data or energy is being required to either come out of the how much energy is going into or coming out of the sensors at a particular node location. That's pretty much what the heating and discomfort is. It's how much data is going in and out of the nodes in a particular site on the body. That's what's really causing your pains, is when you have so many sensors that's just basically assembled in an area which is called a node, or at least I think this is what it is. Don't if I get it wrong, just tell me I'm wrong and just correct me, but don't act like I know what I'm really talking about. But as the sensors are assembled in particular areas of the body, they create what's called a node, right? Now these nodes, they can overheat. They have standards for how much information or energy should be sent to these biosensors to prevent overheating and discomfort and all things that nobody likes to go through. But what they're doing is, because we have morals, because we have some type of standards, because we actually tend to be honest people, maybe we actually believe in laws, or at least most laws, or at least human rights laws, because we believe in certain things, they're going to basically override the safeguards of the devices so that we are basically getting tormented by the devices. This is why, and then you know what, another thing, I'm going to start teaching myself a little more about MAC addresses and how these sensors are basically identified. Let me see. Wait, there was another one I was supposed to go to. I'm trying to remember. I can't remember what the other one was. Anyway, hold on. All right, so I don't even know where I last left off at, but yo, it just like got wild because this last route that I'm doing, I'm not doing another one. All day today, they've been attacking the shit out of my back, and it's the real culprit, the real sources of the energy that they're using is the battery of the bike and then the phone. These are the two biggest and closest sources of energy that they're using to attack my back with, because they created the resonance between, you know, the cells of my back, and then the battery of the bike, and then the cell phone. And, you know, your cell phone is basically like your personal server. So whatever data that's collected in the body, it goes to your cell phone, and then your cell phone sends it whenever it gets, you know, signal or whatever the case. But so I'm like my back feels like it's on fire, right? Now the route that I have is not difficult. It's just that with everything taken into consideration, one, all of my bins are like basically trash, you know, and then on top of that, the dolly that I normally use, someone else was using it, so I tried to use this real small one, but because all the bins are broken, the bins are breaking. Well, I guess the dolly is breaking through the bins. I had to think about that one. You know, so now I'm just like, I'm frustrated as hell because I just don't even have the equipment to work like I normally would, right? So it's like, I don't even have the equipment that I need to work the way I normally would. And then it's like, on top of that, like routes that's normally easy just like exponentially get harder because I don't have certain things. And to be honest, I try my best to be as professional as I can, so I always try to see if I could you know, I mean, look, what I try to do is you should have 9 bins, right? 9 good bins. And then it's raining, so yeah, that just happened. So you're supposed to have 9 good bins, so, and that way you could protect them from the elements, right? 9 good bins so you can protect them from the elements. And then also when you put them on a dolly, they should be sturdy enough so you can be able to, you know, move them, you know, move around with them, right? Oh, man. Well, I'm trying to deal with the most right now. And I'm like, yo, they better not ask me to do another route. Right, so my back right now is like on fire. And it's like, as I'm holding the phone in my right hand, all I feel are like these wafting, like dense waves of like heat, and that's the radiation. That's the directed radiation coming from the phone, as it's like literally like going like this, and then it goes to my back, and it's like, oh my goodness, it's crazy because it always feel like no matter what I do internally or externally, if I can't get these bots out of my body, it doesn't matter how healthy you are. I see vegans, I see all types of people who don't drink, who don't smoke. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how much you pray. If you don't get these bots out of you, you're basically just enduring, but you're not going to be able to stop the targeting because you need to find a way to get the bots out of your body. Let me see. I am looking for, right, I gotta keep going. So yeah, oh man, and it's frustrating because it's like living in New York City is frustrating alone. That's frustrating alone. And then living amongst all these different personalities is also another frustration on top of it. When you take in, well, I could care less how expensive things are. I just want less. That's it. That's how I think. You know, I could care less how expensive something costs. I'll just want less. You know? And you got to remember, that's exactly how the enemy is going to manipulate everyone's, subconscious. They're going to raise the prices of all the things that they advertise, which means the things that they advertise are the things that they're telling you that you want. And then you're going to walk around having these thoughts of all these things that you think you want or you think you need, but you actually really don't. So it forces you to actually want to make more money. And then you find yourself doing all these different things and jobs to try to make as much money as you possibly can, just so you can be able to purchase the things that you want and the things that you think you need. But here's one thing that I noticed. If you really focus on God and you look at your current situation and you look at the very detail, like if you look at the smallest little details of your life, just like how God knows every little detail about your life, including every little strand of hair on your head, I think about it like this, right? You already have what you need. Now, the whole idea of wanting more money, wanting to buy a bigger house, most of the time when people talk about they want to get a bigger house or they want a house, you don't even need a house. You don't even need a bigger house. Most of the things that people find themselves always trying to see if they can get, it's always something that you don't even necessarily need. You actually just bought into the whole mind control, really, because that's basically what it is. Most of the time, anyone who truly has a surplus of just about everything that you could possibly need, you're not living no more. You're literally hoarding and letting most of the stuff that you hoard just sit there and be I don't know. It's like you got people who are super rich, right? And then what they do, they pass it down to their children, and their children most likely haven't even come close to working as, I'm not going to say hard, you don't always need to work hard, but learning and gaining as much life experiences for them to be handed down so much money. Not to say that it's a bad thing or anything to want to leave money to your children, but I realized after a while, I was like, nah, there's a lot of things that can be gained from hustle and learning to endure certain things and overcoming, obstacles and things of that sort. Hold on. All right, so, I'm almost done with my route, but and it's funny because as my cart started to get lighter, the pulses from my phone, kind of got, like I could still feel the resonance because, the Bluetooth and all that stuff is locked in on me, right? What I want to do is I actually want to start digging more into how they identify. I think I mentioned this earlier, but I want to start digging more into how they identify people's W bands, and I asked the chatbot, what type of things or I guess markers or whatever they use. They said MAC addresses, IP address, then it was a third one. I forgot what the third one was, but because I figured, I was like, you know what? The best thing I'm gonna try to do, or which I've already been doing, is reverse engineer. Reverse engineer just about everything. Once I read up on what, how they build this stuff up, my theory is that once I read up on how they build it up, I'm just basically gonna take that information, combine it with everything I'm experiencing, and then deconstruct what I'm experiencing, because I would already know the details of how they build it. And Yeah, so I want to like reverse engineer how they're doing all this stuff. And I know I can do it. I know I can do it because I have the will to do it. Aside from that, they really been pushing this whole this psyop about certain people at the job planning to do this or nobody trusts me and all this stuff. Now the thing is, I'm still gonna act just the same as I've always been when I started this job, because it don't make no sense for me to change how I operate. If it don't make no sense for me to change how I operate or function because the V2K is saying that certain people or things are happening. You can't trust anything that they say. All you could do is take it into account. Take it into account, and then you could, if you want to, if you decide to, you take it into account and then you dissect it. You dissect it and try to see how many how many holes you can poke through it. Does it actually make sense? And then you could also be bold and you could just be like, hey, let me ask you something. Am I doing da 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 da? And you can look them right in their eyes. Because I'm telling you right now, anyone who is fully augmented and that's a part of the cloud, they give off a certain type of energy. I kid you not, anyone who's linked up to the cloud and who's actually gaining access to that data, they give off a certain type of energy. You could see something in their eyes. It's really gonna not be that hard eventually to determine who's a part of that cyber society and who's not. Plus one easy way to tell would be who's suffering right now. that's one good way to let you know who's a part of that tech society. Who's suffering and who's not. That'll let you know, because obviously if they're a part of this society, they wouldn't be suffering, right? They're a part of the society that's controlling everything. So why would they be suffering? So that's one thing I'm taking into consideration is, if you don't look like you suffering like me or worse than I am, I definitely can't trust you. Hold on. All right, so but yeah, as far as things that I like, look, I had this thought where I would love to like travel around the country and do like a meetup in like every state where there's TIs, right? And then just have everyone say, well, what do you do? And then we just take a survey or a list of like everything that everyone does to help them navigate or manage their targeting. Cause it's like, I know for me, I'm not really all that fazed by like street, gang stalkers or whatever. I'm not really all that. I grew up in New York City, so, being around people that like to blat out stuff and act crazy and all, that's normal for me. That's normal for me. So it was like, for me, it was like when I first started experiencing, the gang stalking, like gaslighting and whatnot. That was kind of it was weird. It was more weird than it was scary, because I was like, why the hell did it sound like they said they were talking about something that I mentioned in my own house? That was like the only thing that really made it weird. But I wasn't scared. It was just like, it was the fact that my introduction to gang stalking started with V2K. So that freaked me out enough. I was like, that freaked me out enough. The V2K freaked me out enough. And the fact that they opened up, the very first V2K statement I heard was, we gonna shoot you in your sleep. And you hear that, right? And then you look around and there's no one around you. You look outside and there's no one outside. And then they say it again just to mess with you. So I'm like, damn, this is some weird ass shit. But as far as like, you know, the people walking around doing crazy things, or, you know, people basically giving you telling you death threats, saying that they're going to do this to you, or they're going to stab you, or they're going to punch you in the back of the head, like they said it when I was in the hospital. That stuff, I kind of just like, I don't know, I just attributed that to normal human indecency or something like that. I don't know. But my phone's about to die, so I'm about to end this video here. Yeah, I don't really have much else. I'm just trying to get these 2 stops over with so I can clock out. Take life one breath, one thought, one step, one day at a time. Peace.